You go to the trouble of buying fresh, organic ingredients to cook a healthy meal for your family. You carefully wash your vegetables and measure your spices. But what if the very tools you're using are undermining your efforts? What if they're silently leaching harmful toxins and microplastics directly into the food you eat? You believe that home-cooked meal is the healthiest option, but common kitchen plastics might be adding unwanted ingredients to your dinner. Today, we're looking at 3 of these silent culprits that you probably use every day. We'll also cover the inert materials you should switch to for your family's well-being. This isn't about fear. It's about being informed. The science is becoming too clear to ignore. A few small changes in your kitchen can make a significant difference to your long-term health. We're going to break down exactly what to look for, what the research says, and how you can easily make the switch. The first villain: black plastic utensils. Let's start with one of the most common items in any kitchen drawer. They're cheap, they're everywhere, and they seem harmless enough. But a growing body of research is revealing a disturbing secret. The problem: a significant portion of black plastic products, including kitchen utensils, are made from recycled electronic waste. Think about that for a moment. The plastic casings from old computers and TVs are shredded, melted down, and reformed. To make those electronics less flammable, their casings were heavily treated with chemicals called brominated flame retardants, or BFRs. The legacy of millions of tons of e-waste means these toxins are finding their way back into our homes. The recycling, the agitation. Brominated flame retardants are known endocrine disruptors, meaning they can interfere with the body's sensitive hormonal systems. The National Institutes of Health has linked this group of chemicals to hormone and thyroid issues. Some studies also point to connections with reproductive problems and even cancer. One specific BFR, dicarbamidophenol, was banned by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency in 2021 due to its potential health risks. Yet, recent research continues to find these chemicals in black plastic household items. A study published in the journal Chemisphere found BFRs in a high percentage of the black plastic products it tested, with some of the highest levels found in items like a spatula. When you use a black plastic spatula to stir a hot sauce, the heat can cause these chemicals to leach directly into your food. One simulated cooking experiment found that a considerable amount of BFRs could transfer from utensils into hot cooking oil, suggesting daily exposure from cooking could be a significant addition to our overall toxic load. It's a clear demonstration that these chemicals don't stay locked inside the plastic, especially when heated. The solution is to move away from plastic utensils, particularly for any task that involves heat. The safest alternatives are made from inert materials that won't react with your food. Stainless steel is one of the best choices. Look for high-quality, food-grade stainless steel, often labeled 18/8 or 18/10. These utensils are durable, won't rust, are easy to clean, and handle high heat without leaching chemicals. Wood and bamboo are also excellent, time-tested options. They're naturally non-reactive and won't scratch your cookware. A set of wooden spoons and spatulas is a must-have for stirring and soak. Food-grade silicone is another great choice, especially for its flexibility. It's heat-resistant and doesn't leach chemicals, making it a safe option. Houston Suriat is labeled as 100% food-grade silicone without any plastic fillers. The second villain: plastic cutting boards. Next up is an item that sees daily, aggressive use. Whether made from polypropylene or polyethylene, these boards are popular because they're lightweight, cheap, and can go in the dishwasher. But there's a hidden cost to that convenience. The problem: every time your knife strikes a plastic cutting board, it creates tiny grooves. With every slice, you're not just cutting your food. The board itself sheds microscopic and nanoscopic particles of plastic directly into your ingredients. You are, quite literally, seasoning your food with plastic. The agitation. A 2023 study in the journal Environmental Science and Technology put this to the test. Researchers chopped carrots on plastic cutting boards and measured the release of mud. The results were concerning. They estimated that a person could be exposed to between 14.5 and 71.9 million polyethylene microplastics from a cutting board every single year. That's an annual exposure that could weigh between 7.4 and 50.7 grams of plastic from a polyethylene board, and around 49.5 grams from a polypropylene board. To put that into perspective, a credit card weighs about 5 grams, you could be consuming the equivalent of nearly 10 credit cards worth of plastic from your cutting board alone in a year. While the full health effects of ingesting microplastics are still being intensely researched, scientists are concerned they may cause chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. These particles can also act like sponges, absorbing other environmental toxins and carrying them into your system. It's also worth noting that older, more heavily scratched boards are even worse, releasing more microplastics as they wear down. To solve, thankfully, the swap here is simple and even brings other benefits. It's time to return to more traditional materials. Wood cutting boards are the top recommendation. Materials like maple, walnut, or teak are fantastic choices. Wood is durable, and its fibers can self-heal to some extent, closing up minor cuts. More importantly, studies have shown wood has natural antimicrobial properties. While bacteria can multiply in the grooves of a plastic board, they are often drawn down into the wood fibers, where they die. Tempered glass is another option. It's non-porous and completely inert, so it won't shed particles or absorb bacteria. The main downside is that it's very hard on your knives and can dull them quickly. However, for a dedicated board used for high-risk items like raw meat, where sanitization is the top priority, it can be a good choice. The third villain, heated and scratched plastic containers. The final villain on our list is perhaps the most deceptive, because it often comes with a label that gives a false sense of security. The microwave-safe plastic food container. We use them to store leftovers, pack lunches, and, most dangerously, reheat food. The problem: the term microwave-safe is misleading. It typically just means the container won't melt or warp when heated. It is not a guarantee of chemical safety. When plastic is heated, it dramatically accelerates the release of both microplastic particles and chemical additives into your food. The agitation. The results of recent studies are alarming. A 2023 study looked at what happens when you microwave plastic baby food containers. It found that heating a single plastic container for just 3 minutes could release over 4 million microplastic and 2 billion nanoplastic particles from just 1 square centimeter of plastic. Nanoplastics are especially concerning because they are small enough to potentially pass through biological barriers and enter our organs and bloodstream. The same study noted that after just 2 days of exposure to these particles, 77% of cultured human kidney cells died in a lab setting. Beyond microplastics is the issue of chemical leaching. The original concern was BPA, an endocrine disruptor linked to a range of health issues. Many companies then switched to BPA-free plastics. However, they often replaced BPA with chemical cousins like bisphenol SBPS, and bisphenol FB. Emerging evidence suggests these substitutes are just as hormonally active and may have similar endocrine-disrupting effects. Heat, scratches from utensils, and contact with acidic or fatty foods all increase the rate at which these chemicals can migrate into your meal. This is a critical change to make. Never microwave your food in plastic. Instead, switch to storage containers made of completely inert materials. Glass containers are the gold standard. Glass is non-porous, non-reactive, and won't leach anything into your food, no matter how many times you heat it. You can store, reheat, and even bake in the same container. Ceramic is another excellent option. Lead-free ceramic bowls and containers are perfect for reheating food and are completely inert. Just be sure they don't have glazes or coatings that could contain heavy metals. Stainless steel containers are great for storage, though you can't put them in the microwave. They are perfect for lunchboxes and storing leftovers in the fridge. Making these changes might seem like a lot, but you don't have to do it all overnight. Start small. The next time a plastic spatula gets a little too melted on the pan, replace it with a stainless steel one. The next time you notice deep gouges in your cutting board, make the switch to wood. And today, you can make the simple decision to always transfer leftovers to a glass or ceramic dish before microwaving them. If you found this information valuable and want to learn more about creating a healthier home, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way, you won't miss our next video, where we'll tackle the hidden toxins in your You work hard to put healthy, nourishing food on the table. Don't let your kitchen tools undermine that effort. By swapping out these 3 plastic items: black utensils, plastic cutting boards, and heated containers, you are taking a powerful and proactive step towards protecting your health. It isn't about perfection, it's about making conscious choices. One small swap at a time. you can make your kitchen a safer place. Thank you for watching.